Did last year's school year feel real?
It didn't really, because I didn't have any social interaction with my teachers or with any of my peers and stuff. I couldn't really hang out with people as much during lunch, and yeah, it was hard to look at a screen all day, especially when it was school. So
It was like a 50-50. I get really distracted in person, but like when I was working at my I was learning at my house, and I mostly just stayed. I got better at school when I was at home instead of school, but I also missed the having a normal life as a boy.
In describing the last year, I think the best way to describe it is to say it was surreal, both real and unreal in different proportions. It happened so quickly that COVID took over, and all of a sudden our lives were turned upside down. And there were things that we'd been so used to doing all our lives, and we couldn't do them anymore. Couldn't see our friends, couldn't go to concerts or movies, couldn't easily go into stores, couldn't shop and just chat with everybody without wearing masks. It was so disruptive. And I think that's part of what made it feel unreal much of the time, was that it was so far out of our usual experiences that it was confusing. It was overturning ourselves in a very strange kind of way. We didn't know anything about whether there would be a cure, whether there would be a treatment, whether there would be a vaccine. Would we ever get to travel again? Would we be able to go out in public again? Go to listen to live music, go to listen to our friends at their houses and spend the evening talking. None of this we knew. And that difficulty in comprehending the enormity of it is what made it feel unreal. But getting through it, putting one foot in front of the other, step by step, and relying on faith and hope and an internal sense of determination, that felt real. So that was the reality in a very unreal year.
So, did the last year of school feel real to you?
Not really. It was kind of all a blur, and it felt like it went by in like 10 years and 2 weeks at the same time.
Yeah. Simultaneously, you were just kind of like doing all of the work you could, but also falling behind even though you knew that you were doing the work, which was really difficult for me. Since we weren't in person the whole time, it was really hard to feel connected to the school as well, which kind of made it feel like it didn't even exist.
Yeah, I don't think that it really felt like a school year. I feel like, I'm not really sure, it just didn't feel normal. Does that make sense? Like, it did feel real, just not normal. I think that for something to feel real, you have to really connect with the people around you and like talk to them more and really socialize. And I do think that that happened a lot during the school year, although it went like, you couldn't really see people and like it was really limited who you could talk to since the classes were also smaller. And at the beginning of the year we had hybrid, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to everybody.
It was like that movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie though.
Did this year feel real? It felt surreal. It felt hyper real even. What didn't feel real, what got really weird, was my sense of time. I can't believe it's been 15 months since the pandemic began. When I think about the before times, they seem like 3 or 4 years ago in my memory. it seemed like we would just finish up with a board meeting, and in a week and a half it would be time to start getting ready for the next board meeting. It was a strange, distorted experience I think because of the ways that my days got emptier and stiller. And I made a conscious choice to ground into my life here at the house and in the yards, and to ground into the board work as a way to focus on something positive and fulfilling while staying safe. So I have a really intense experience and more present experience of this year. I'm really glad it's over. I'm really looking forward to opening out and being in the presence of other people more and more, and connecting in real life, and hearing people breathe and seeing all their subtle body language cues. Zoom was great for making church and board work possible this past year, but we had our first in-person board meeting this week in Andrea's backyard, and I had forgotten how much richer and more multi-layered being with a group of people in person is. The subverbal cues, it's like three-dimensional life. It was exciting. And it feels like a year that I will be digesting for a very long time